Hey, everybody. It's Nicole and Love Infinity on Positive Impact. And today we have a fantastic guest with a personality that's bigger than life itself. What does great nutrition and a funny disposition have in common? D. Stephanie. She's a fun and inspirational host of a really cool show called D Freakin' Licious. And she's also certified as a nutrition and health coach there's a couple of them here. Stephanie has a bachelor's in biology.
Yes.
She is a certified Institute for Integrative Nutrition Health coach, certified in behaviors and motivators, high performance life coach, and creator and host of that show, D Freakin' Licious, which I love the title.
I love the name D Freaking Licious. How did you come up with that?
Are we allowed to curse?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So ever since I was a little kid, I've always had this weird and quirky, odd way in which I like say people's names. And it started with Mama She and Daddy Mac, whatever. So it's always carried out through my life. And so do you remember the movie Snatch? Del Toro, Brad Pitt, they're chasing around an 86 karat diamond. Came out in like 2001.
Right. I remember that.
It's a hilarious movie, and it's phenomenal for people who have ADD like myself, because each scene is no longer than about 2 minutes, and it's 2 minutes of hilarious shit talking. Next scene, hilarious shit talking. Next scene, hilarious shit talking. Anyway, there's a scene. Okay, so Brad Pitt's character is what's called a poiky. And they're gypsies, and they get over on people. They're swindlers by the way in which they talk, and you can't understand them. So anyway, Turkish and Tommy, Jason Statham's character, he's Turkish. He wants Tommy to go purchase a caravan for their bare knuckle boxing matches off of these poikies. Well, Tommy goes out and he takes this big, huge dude who's a bare knuckle fighter, and his name is Gorgeous George. All right, so Mickey and them were like, "Why'd you bring this guy? What do you think we're going to get over on you?" Well, anyway, sure as shit, the caravan winds up being a piece of crap, and they don't want to give the money back to Tommy. So Mickey, Brad Pitt's character, knocks Gorgeous George out. Well, Turkish and Tommy have got to go talk to Bricktop, and Bricktop is the head gangster. He's the bad person, the bad guy in the movie. And he fights dogs like he's a really bad person. Well, Turkish and Tommy show up, and they're telling Bricktop, they're like, "We lost Gorgeous George." And Bricktop goes, "Well, where'd you lose him? It's not as though he's a set of fucking car keys, and it's not as though he's inconspicuous now, is it?" That inconspicuous imprinted itself upon me. So one day I'm driving to the gym, and I've had this dream of hosting my own cooking shows on the Food Network ever since I started watching the Food Network in the late 90s. And one day I was just thinking about my own restaurant name and my cooking show, and I don't know where I went. I was thinking of that scene for some reason, and that was just 4 years ago, but I'm like, D Freakin' Licious. And I'm like, oh my God, that is awesome. So that's fun. And so, again, I didn't wait to have the perfect studio and the lighting and the camera crew. I took a blank sheet of paper. I taped it to my counter with D Freakin' Licious. And I put my iPhone up and I hit record, and I did a kale video, and it had 1,700 views, which is, that's a lot for someone,
That's a lot.
Yeah, I've learned to edit in iMovie and Videorama ever since then. This was November 2016. I've done over 40 episodes.
Wow.
Now I'm looking to up-level the game and, again, produce something that I can go to the Food Network and say, y'all need to create a show with me.
Oh, my God. I love it. Thanks for sharing that story. What a great story. So what's one of your favorite dishes to cook?
Oh, my gosh. Deviled eggs are I've got 4 recipes of deviled eggs that I've done so far. But with my deviled eggs, I use Greek yogurt. Calling for sour cream or mayo, I substitute with 2% Greek yogurt because, number one, it's you're adding that extra nutrition of the probiotics, and it's going to be a little lighter and just overall healthier. And just, so my Brussels sprouts are another one.
Ooh, I love Brussels.
I am telling you right now, tell me, oh my God, Stephanie, I hate Brussels sprouts, and that's the best shit I've ever eaten because I do.
I love Brussels sprouts.
Yes, but I do most of my stuff is kind of paleo based, more of an all natural, even though Greek yogurt wouldn't necessarily be considered paleo. But
Right.
what I do with as I take dishes like like chicken fingers or grouper fingers, cod fingers, and I dust them with almond meal, like almond flour, and with an egg and lots of spices, and you still within the putting it in the air fryer or baking it, broiling it, comes out with a very crispy crust. So my point in D for Rick and Licious is all about healthy cooking, delivered with a big huge splash of humor, and it inspire people to see, oh wow, damn, that's healthy and it's delicious. I'll be more likely to make it and not go through the drive-thru at McDonald's.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you talk about the Food Network. What's your favorite show on the Food Network?
Oh, girl.
Which chef do you like to follow?
Oh my gosh. Love Giada De Laurentiis, Bobby Flay. I love Guy Fieri, Ina Garten. I mean, I've been watching this for years. And Ali Khan, he's got this show called Cheap Eats. I sit there. I love the kitchen. I just love watching. And I just imagine, this is what I imagine, that I have them on my show. We're making something together. And at the end, because everybody loves to say, like, if you watch my show, that's D for Rick and Licious.
I love saying it.
That's like Guy Fieri going, shut the front door, because that's that is D for Rick and Licious. In their unique way in which they speak and talk and have their fabulous character, and it's just like, or characteristics, whatever, personality, and I it's like my heart aches, like I just feel this aching, that those are my people, or some of my people, and
you'll get there.
Yeah.
So, but tell us, because you didn't always have this fantastic disposition. You weren't always so self-confident and empowered. Like, how did you get to this point? Because I know you also coach people in empowerment.
Yes. So, as a little kid, I know this is going to be hard for you to believe, very hyperactive, outside of the box, very imaginary. I had an imaginary friend named Lisa. I was odd and quirky and annoying, to a lot of people, and kids on me real, pretty bad. My feelings were constantly getting hurt, and that carried on over into, teenage years, adolescence, and even into my, early adult years. People, it's amazing how, when you show up authentically, and even as like little kids, and I was talking about this earlier, Nicole, in my book, it's amazing how even little kids are insecure as a whole to even truly be themselves, and how intimidated they are by someone who is. And that's where the bullying and the picking on comes from. It's like, I always say, it's not that people don't like you. It's that they don't like how they feel about themselves in your presence. And the point of what my passion is for the world is for people to know their value and worth. So therefore, they are not comparing themselves to anyone else. They're not bullying anyone else. Hurt people, happy people don't.
Do you ever coach children?
I have not, but go ahead. You were about to ask me something else?
Oh, I was going to go back to the freaking delicious, because only because I have a friend, she's so good about cooking healthy for her family, and she kind of tries to prepare the meals ahead of time, and she goes to the grocery store every day for fresh ingredients. And I got her this cookbook one time, and it said, "What the fork for dinner?"
Oh, I love that. I
didn't even get it at first. I just thought it was funny. I called her one time. She was at her son's baseball game, and she's like cracking up hysterically, in tears, laughing. And she goes, "Charity, this cookbook that you got me, it is so fucking hilarious, because it's like a bunch of fucking that and a piece of shit. Like, the whole cookbook is like not measuring. It's just like, it's
and think about that. That's funny. And people, when you're stimulated, especially laughing,
Yeah.
But one of the best things you can do in the world. Imagine like, oh, hell yeah, I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
You know? And you're just going to feel, because everything's is tied to emotion. And if something elates you and makes you happy, you're going to, or like makes you laugh, you know, you're more inclined to follow it.
And the food tastes better because you're laughing and you're having fun around the food.
Yeah, and that's another premise of my show is fun. And we, like my friends and I, we dress up in silly costumes and we act goofy. and it's about being entertaining.
That's awesome.
People will watch, and as they're watching, they're learning, because like, you know, I watch the Food Network, like, and Cooking Channel TV.com. It's still Food Network. Like there's nothing else on TV.
Yeah,
you know, and I'm picking up.
It's positive too. I have a disco ball in my kitchen and in my bathroom, so that
I love that.
That's fabulous. It looks like you got I see like the stars behind you look like little disco balls.
Yeah,
and I have the Christmas tree up.
Yep, I had it up before Christmas.
Love it.
And those are my Swarovski stars. I have them all over the house. I've collected them since my boys were born. You know, I've gotten them a star for every year of their birth, and then they started making 3 stars, like one big one and 2 little ones.
Yeah.
So that when they get older, I can give them all their stars for their homes.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, it was a tradition we did.
Yeah.
So
do you coach your clients as well as cook for them? Like, do you coach them in empowerment and cook, or how does that work?
Okay, all of the above, and that is relative to whatever program that they have signed up to work with me on. So if you're like I have several people who are very into physical fitness and they're very into eating healthy, and they don't necessarily need the health and wellness part of what it is that I do. And I more so coach them on their mindset and, you know, relative to the areas in their life that they are not operating at that 100%, you know, way in which they're able, you know, we all have the potential to show up so much greater and higher to create, you know, whether it's relationships, like they're continuously in toxic relationships,
right?
Or it's like, okay, what is the mindset that you're possessing that's causing you to create and attract or the same situation over and over and over again, and you're not dismantling whatever limiting beliefs are causing you to attract something so much greater and more deserving of you.
Right. Well, that's exciting.
I read that you're an angel coach. Is that what does that?
I don't think that was me. I think that was Nicole.
Yeah, I do have coaches that are angels, but that's not today's guest.
Right.
I'm trying to think.
I don't know.
Well, coaching is such a great thing and empowering people. And like you said, getting to the root of the problem.
Yeah.
Because history repeats itself. If you don't learn from it, how can you get the lesson and the blessing?
Yeah.
It's not as easy as you think. I'm experiencing that because I'm in a sisterhood program, a 6-month program right now.
Mm-hmm.
And right now we're on the section of boundaries. And I was shocked of how much I'm still learning about myself, why I am the way I am from childhood things that you would never, ever imagine could be creating this toxic stuff or this drama in life today. It's just wild.
Well, and you also, you know, it's like you don't even realize the pushback from your subconscious. Like it wants you to stay this way, you know, because this represents safety. Right. This is like your home base. And now you're going to disrupt that, you know, and then all of a sudden all these fears come up and people struggle with that a lot. Do you ever experience that, Stephanie?
Absolutely. And personal growth is something that is lifelong. It's not something that you just read a book or do a course or attend a seminar. This is something that, because, you know, that you have to wake up and realize that this is something that you're going to be on until the day that you're no longer physically on the earth. And Nicole, I mean, for instance, I mean, I certainly don't want this session to turn into me talking about problems, but I will say that because I've been on this journey since I was in my early 20s, it has enabled me to persevere through like life's pull out the fucking rug from under you situations that I've experienced over and over and over. But see, again, as I think we were talking earlier, I don't see myself as a victim. So I had a devastating catastrophic experience. I'll just say that I was driving 1,000 miles an hour in a very, very excited car, just to crash all of a sudden into a brick wall.
Yeah.
And that derailed me in a way, like physically, that even now I'm still experiencing fleeting bouts of anxiety. But what it wasn't that I was a victim of this situation. It was, and everyone involved in this situation, the people who created the lies and the negativity against me. It's like, what is in that for them, for all of us to, and that was one of the worst things I've had to pick myself up and get through.
Sure.
And, if I hadn't taught myself and learned all that I've learned through doing this lifelong journey of self-awareness, personal growth, I would have been flattened like a flounder.
Yeah.
Or just.
I've never heard of that expression, but that's really good.
Well, yeah. Yeah. I'm writing about that situation in my book too, girl. Oh, I've got okay, so just to tell you, my autobiography, the emoji is like blue and yellow. My book is called What the Fuck? It's F***, and it's a hilarious account of all the bullshit I've been through and other fabulous life happenings.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
And it's going to be funny.
Good.
Oh,
So
yeah.
some of it'll be like, wow, but I did not.
I'm just curious, Stephanie, have you ever considered doing stand-up?
Girl, I would love to take some improv classes. That is something, that's one of my goals. Because again, even at, like my craft, I want to get better and better. And even, I'll tell you, doing this Take the Stage event has really, and everything is systematic. Like I went on a vacation back in July all by myself. I've never, ever gone on a vacation by myself.
Right.
And it did everything that I intended for it to do, to release whatever needed to be released so I could step more into this purpose of what I'm supposed to be, what I'm doing here for in the world.
Yeah.
Where'd you go? Somewhere spiritual or somewhere?
No, it was just to Myrtle Beach, but a friend of mine,
The beach is spiritual.
Well, it was a spiritual experience for me because a friend of mine lives, has a beautiful home, and he gifted me his entire home because he lives in Charlotte. He gifted me his home for the week, in which I was able to get away and do what I needed to do and just be alone, be on the beach, feet in the sand.
When were you in Myrtle Beach?
Well, I'm always in Myrtle Beach because that's where I went to college. So I lived in Myrtle Beach for, from 93 on through like 2016. But even though I have my home here since 2008, I'm constantly there. Like some of my soulmate best friends live there. And we're actually going to be in Myrtle Beach next week. My boyfriend's cousin is an ER doctor at Grand Strand, so we're going to be there for Thanksgiving next week. So
wow.
That's a place that I constantly am.
We just visited the week before Labor Day, so I was just curious if I had passed by you at some point.
So what are you cooking for Thanksgiving?
We're going to have it. I have this roaster, and we're going to have this turkey. And I saw this recipe. You asked me about my favorite cooking shows. Reed Drummond. And it's the pandemic quarantine style episodes. And those are my favorite because you see really how authentic these people are, being the goofy with their kids, filming them with their iPhones, And she did this turkey and she did this butter, this citrus herb butter. And I was like, oh my God. So with the butter, I would use ghee. Ghee is where the milk solids are reduced. Yeah. And I'm going to do that with the same herbs. Again, it's not necessarily changing everything she did, but it's just making it slightly healthier. So I'm going to do that. My Brussels sprouts are a must. Balsamic vinegar, pancetta ham, caramelized onions.
Nice.
And cauliflower mash. And my paleo gravy. Unfreaking damn real.
Oh my God. I want to come to your place. My sons growing up, they love the Food Network. They were watching it all the time and asking me, Mom, let's do this. And I loved it because it encouraged them to cook with me.
Yes. Yeah.
And we did this one cook show, like gooey sandwiches and how to make them healthier. And they actually, we used cauliflower, roasted cauliflower, and put all this healthy stuff. And they liked it. And none of us even liked cauliflower before that. So
Oh, I know. Like, yeah.
I love
that. I absolutely love that. And you know what? And like you said, like your kids, they're empowered early on to cook, and that's going to carry them throughout their lives. My grandmother empowered or inspired me to cook. She didn't necessarily go, Stephanie, let's cook. It was just, I wanted to be in the kitchen with my grandmother making the biscuits. And again, you know, I know y'all know this too. I used to be able to eat anything and everything and all as much of it as I wanted. And then my early 20s is when I couldn't do that anymore. And I'm like, whoa, I don't be thinking so. And that's when I started the journey to health and wellness. And back then it was grilled chicken and vegetables. Right. Into the gym. But then it's like, I learned through a subscription of Cooking Light that I subscribed to how to.
I love that subscription.
So I'm from the South too. And
where?
Soul food. I was born in Tennessee.
Okay.
So my great grandparents are from the Smoky Mountains. They live there. And I have the same childhood memories cooking. They had every fruit tree, every apple pie, every peach pie, cherry pie, every pie you could imagine, and the biscuits. And pretty much I did not really love Southern cooking when I was little, except biscuits and gravy and mashed potatoes. I did not like the cornbread. I did not like all the meat. I never liked the meat. I never liked cow milk.
You know how the late
eggs. Never.
You know how that craze came up about 4 or 5 years ago. How you put a pat of butter in your coffee for the brain boost. Yeah. Oh. So I was doing that for a while, and I had a client who was born and raised in Georgia. And she's like, oh, you don't need a pat of butter. You need a slice of bacon in your coffee. And I'm like, oh, what? She's like, my mother used to, and my grandmother used to drink coffee with bacon in it. And I'm like, wow. You know, like the possibilities just opened up in my mind about, wow.
They call it soul food down in the South, huh?
Yeah. Well, I grew up the same way. And I remember so my grandma's collard greens were the only thing that I couldn't stand. And my parents actually gave up on making my brothers and I, and my cousins, my twin cousins, their parents, on eating it because we hated the collard greens. But other than that, I love my grandma's potato salad or biscuits or country ham. Her I didn't like her cornbread because it wasn't sweet, it was just real dry. But she made her homemade jellies and jams and fresh strawberry cake and upside.
What's the purpose of okra?
I never liked okra because it's slimy and I had to pick it. I lived on a farm and I would get.
I don't get it though. Like it's slimy. It's like. How do you cook okra and make it good?
Do you guys have a fresh market in your area?
Yes.
Okay.
No, we have Trader Joe's. We have other things. Yeah.
Trader Joe's is my favorite, but I've only seen this at Fresh Market, and it is. I think it's not freeze dried. I'm drawing a blank. It might be air fried, but I would say this because this was even before air fryers came out. What is the fry where you can make dried fruit?
You know, a dehydrator.
A dehydrator, yes.
They have okra, and it's just crispy.
Really?
Potato chip crispy, and it's salted, and it's freaking delicious.
Oh, really? Okay. That's interesting.
I never liked sweet potatoes until I had sweet potato French fries or potato chips. And now I love sweet potatoes in my stews and my soups, chunks of it. Or roasted, but I always thought of sweet potatoes like with the marshmallows on it and all. Ugh.
Oh yeah. I didn't like that either. So Trader Joe's has in the frozen section sweet potato fries. Put those in the air fryer.
Oh, yeah,
they're so damn good.
Nice.
I'm hungry talking. It seems like all day our podcasts have been on food and stuff.
Really? There's a theme going on.
It's ended up with that. Yeah. So, I want to, do you ever cook vegan?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I have my kale. Well, I take that back. No, it's my bruschetta. It's spiralized zucchini with diced cherry tomatoes and balsamic vinegar, sea salt, black pepper, fresh basil, and it's bruschetta without dairy. There's no dairy, and that is part of my it's called a fresh start, or a fall start, healthy start cleanse, and it is a vegan cleanse. There are a little bit of nuts, and but I just did an ayurvedic cleanse like 3 weeks ago, and that was really awesome, and that actually helped with my digestion too, Nicole. It really did.
There's a lot of benefit to a lot of ayurvedic, the doshas, and that's been a very helpful science for what is that, like 3,000 years?
Yeah.
Exactly.
They must know what they're doing.
My dosha requires like root vegetables and soups and warm foods to ground me more.
Yes.
Because I was trying another woman I do a podcast with, we were trying the fruitarian, the banana lady who eats bananas and dates, and they're in incredible shape. You wouldn't believe. And it kind of makes sense because gorillas eat bananas and they're the strongest mammal out there, and they have this science behind it. And I was telling her, so I've been working on doing this with her.
Mm-hmm.
And at night, I just can eat bananas all day. But then at night, I want something warm and grounding, like something savory and something, especially.
I was just going to say, like, you really have to understand how sugar reacts in your body before I think you can do something like that. Bananas are the highest content of sugar of all the fruits. So it's a little dicey, like if you're struggling with pre-diabetes or something, like you don't really want to go that route. But yeah, it can be, I think any diet that you totally exclude one or numerous food groups is just going to come back to bite you eventually, though,
Have you guys ever heard of the potato diet?
Yeah.
This guy literally, he wanted to be ostentatious and go, F keto. I'm gonna do the complete opposite. And he just ate. The sweet potatoes aren't included, but any type of like russet potato, new potato, and he did this, and he wound up losing a lot of weight. I think if you anytime you change up something, you shock your system, and it's gonna burn.
Yeah, your metabolism adapts over time physiologically. Yeah. So like it'll just get used to that. You'll plateau on that, and then you get off, and then your metabolism will kick up again. But
I had a friend who had 5 babies, and she was only belly, and I'm like, what is your secret? Like I get it in my arms and my thighs, and she lived on potatoes. And potatoes are so good for you nutritionist wise. They fill you up. If you ever, some of my friends now, that's what they serve for dinner, baked potatoes with all the fixins, and their family is so beyond full. You can barely finish a potato. They're so good for you and hearty. So I'm all about that.
Again, it just depends on your metabolism, like, and checking in and seeing like, what's your energy expenditure? If you are really physically active during the day, and this is coming from my metabolism background. If you're really truly physically active all day, then having that much potato isn't that bad for you. But if you have that much potato and you're sedentary, that's, so you gotta look at everyone as an individual. And I think there's no blanket for anything. There's nutrition in potatoes, there's nutrition in bananas, but yeah, it's like not an easy blanket fix for everyone. But anyway, so Stephanie, when you work with someone, do you also do when you work with someone in terms of their self-esteem, do you subscribe to certain diets for them? Like, do you stick with certain foods, or how do you do that?
Okay, so I just learned this recently on a David Letterman interview with Kanye West, actually. I know there's controversy around him, but he said, I don't do diets, I do live-its. And I thought that was genius. So, okay, that aside, I just wanted to throw that in there. So,
I like it.
Again, Nicole, when I'm working with somebody that is, most of the people that I'm working with are already like of the mindset that they need to eat healthier, and they're just looking for delicious. They're tired of eating, the grilled chicken and vegetables, but they don't really know how to cook. And they're those types of people, and this is in my experience with my clients, they're more so looking like, how can I make, this healthy food that I'm eating delicious?
Right.
But to answer your question, just to further expound upon that, is, as long as you're not allergic to vegetables, I have a girl who's allergic to lemon. She's allergic to all kinds of vegetables. Even, it's really crazy, but it's like, there's a DNA test that, I have you take, and that tells me if there's any allergies or some food sensitivities. And from there, we're just creating a plan where you're going to enjoy your food and you're going to have the gumption and the mindset, because again, and I have this philosophy: if you reach a stop sign, there's not a person on the planet that doesn't know that it means to stop.
Right.
You run the stop sign, just knowing it meant to stop means absolutely nothing.
Right.
So what I work with all my clients, with regardless of what it is, what goal that they're wanting to achieve, is what is your why? What do you want? But why do you want what you want? Why do you want to lose 30 pounds? Why do you want to be healthier? Why do you want to, have more joy? What is it? And we tie that to something within, deep within themselves, through that, cultivating that sense of self-awareness that, a lot of my clients, that's the area in which they need to work on. That they're working on. Yes.
Well, and I think the work that you do is so beautiful, because it really does empower the third chakra, both with food as well as thought. That's the center for both of those things, psychological thought, but also digestion of actual food. And I just love what you do. You're such a blessing to have on the show today. Thank you so much for joining us. You also have a really cool offer.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So I just launched my online course called Empower Your Mind, Empower Your Life.
So is there a URL you're going to give me?
Yes, I'm going to provide you the link. Hold on one second. Now I can't see you.
So wait, it's Empower Your Mind, Empower Your Life?
Empower Your Mind, Empower Your Life, and create some healthy, delicious dishes. There's some of that in there as well. But it's, again, about the whole course is mostly about creating the mindset that's dependent upon the heart set. And that's, again, tied to your why of what it is you want in your life. So I just launched that. And between now and the 31st of December, it is in pre-launch, and it is $47.
Woo!
On January 1st, that price is going up. I'm thinking $297, but again, I'm adding even more value. There's many more bonuses to come, even more content, because it's like I have such a wealth of knowledge in several different areas, like from limiting beliefs around money, which is not a part of the course yet. But it's like, so right now, so sign up, and 2 years from now, the course is $2,000, but you pay $47 for what somebody's paying. And with that, comes my very first Defa Rickenlicious, an e-copy of my first Defa Rickenlicious cookbook, and I get, they get emailed that. There's a plethora of recipes. There's in the process of creating a video library that's going to go with each section.
Beautiful.
I'm just so excited.
Yeah,
I am too.
You are so beautiful. I love you.
Thank
you so much. I'm so grateful to meet you and and learn from you even more. So thank you for being with us today.
You're so welcome. It was so great to be with you guys.
So Stephanie, just repeat again where people can find you online or on Facebook.
Okay, so I'll put those links in comments under this video, but because of the spelling, people are like, how do you spell Defa Rickenlicious? So
that's what I did.
I have a YouTube channel. If you Google Defa Rickenlicious, my video library will come up for all my episodes. I have a Defa Rickenlicious Facebook page, that I started when I started my cooking show. And then I have a private Facebook group. Join my private Facebook group. That is Defa Rickenlicious and signed you. And that is more of the daily inspiration, the self-awareness, the empowerment. And that's where you can also sign up for my course. posted that in there. But I'll post all of these links in the comments, because when I go out of here to try and copy and paste, I lose you guys. And that, yeah.
Oh, even just you can't type a comment in there.
Okay, hold
You
on.
should be able to comment.
Oh,
There's like a
hold on. Okay.
Private.
just unprivatize it. Do the regular comment. Do you see that?
Oh, at private chat, no comments. There we go. Oh, okay.
See?
You know what? It doesn't allow me to do a comment.
Oh, all right. Okay.
It's a private for
stinks.
her. It's only private for her. She can send you a private chat.
Yeah.
I can?
No, she can send you a private chat.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Oh, here we go.
And just spell it for everybody. Right?
Okay. So D as in dog, E as in Eric, space. F as in Frank, A as in apple, hyphen. R as in Robert, E as in Eric, K as in kitten, I as in ice cream, N as in Nancy, space. LICIOUS.
Awesome.
So
It's been a free thing. It's been a freaking licious afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Y'all are so amazing. Thank you.
thank you so much, Stephanie. Have a fantastic night. I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.